I'm going to take you back to the 70s to reminisce about a toy cowboy that I hardly don't remember, but it brings back such great memories. Let's take a look at it. Welcome back to the Junk Room, everybody. It's me, the Junkman, coming back at you. To talk about a toy my brother had in the 70s, and most of my toys in the 70s was his. He would get them and I'd get the hand-me-downs and play with it. But this is a toy cowboy. It's one of those things I just locked in the back of my head and kind of forgot about till one day I saw it online and I was like, oh, I remember that. I can remember playing with that. Now this was a cowboy that stood on a base, and it came with a plastic gun that you put batteries in and you shoot it, and a light would shoot out. Well, you wouldn't see the light shoot out, but the light, it was like the light gun from Nintendo did with the laser gun. You remember the game with duck hunt and stuff? It was kind of like that. Now, there was a lot of target games in the 70s, shoot 'em games. That was a lot of fun. But this is a cowboy. You stood him up, and you had to shoot it just right. There was a light right here on his chest. You had to hit that light, and you would make him fall back or maybe fall forward. I don't know if he fell different directions. I can't remember that. I remember he didn't have shoes. It was like his body had absorbed into the base or something. I was like, that's some kind of crazy backstory. Now, I can't even find much about this online. A few eBay people had it for sale. Some was asking a few $100. One sold with box for $75. That'd be kind of cool if I knew about that one. But it seems to be based on a toy that Nintendo released in Japan called Nintendo's Custom Gunman. Theirs wasn't really a cowboy, but this one was a cowboy without a doubt. I mean, he was wearing all black, and he was wearing a cowboy hat. Other than having a horse between his legs, that sounds like a cowboy to me. It was made by a toy company called Vanity Fair. And it seems they redid this same toy around the same time, made it into the Joker, part of a Batman toy. But the gun didn't look like a Batman gun. But it looks like the same thing. It looks like the same thing. They just turned into a Joker. I've never seen that until the day when I was researching the video. Political call. Whoever this is, I ain't voting for you now. Let's get back to the video. Oh, Vanity Fair toy. I never heard of this toy company. It seems they also made record players aimed for girls. I know that. Talk about a niche toy line. Record players for girls. It seems this cowboy called Shoot 'em Ups was only sold in Kmart. So that explains a lot about why my brother had this toy, because anyone that knows my grandma, there was two things she loved: playing bingo at the Moose Lodge and getting a great Blue Light Special deal at Kmart. So I'm pretty sure this thing was probably on clearance on Blue Light Special, or my brother saw it sometime and she got it for him, because she was spoiled. I ain't gonna lie to you. She probably was like, okay, get it if you want it. So when I found out this thing was only sold at Kmart, I was like, okay, I can understand why I remember it being at my grandma's house and not at our house where we kept some of the toys. Another odd thing I found out while researching this video was that Nintendo actually owned the patent in the US for this toy, but they didn't get sued or anything that I could find out. In May of 1978, they filed for a patent of this. It looks just like this toy here, but didn't do anything with it. Or maybe they reached some closed behind the door deal with this toy company. Now it seems the cowboy on the box looks a lot different than the cowboy that came on the base that you shot at. I looked around, and as far as I know, maybe the one on the box is more like a concept or something, and this one here has got released, because I don't think there's two different ones. And it seems if you do find this, finding it with the cowboy hat is kind of hard. I guess the cowboy hat fell off when he got shot, and a lot of people lost it. Now, if you think this cowboy looks familiar, I'll agree with you, because I thought it was Randy Owen, you know, lead singer from Alabama. And like a lot of toys from the 70s and 80s, it seems to have a lot of paint that rubs off on the nose. You know, like the Imperial Dignitary. Something about paint on the nose on some toys just didn't last. Even the great guys over at PLUS Stallion, who looked at a lot of 70s and 80s toys, they had very little about this. They did write a blog about seeing it on eBay, and something about a story about how he was singing a song about naked women and Popeye. I don't know. Just go over to PlusStallion.com. You'll find it there. And a blog site called BeforeMario.com had a little write-up about it also. And that's where I got most of my information. There's not really much out there about this. Seems this toy's forgotten. And I'm curious making this video if anybody had this, had a friend that had it, or know anything about it. Maybe it was just us. Now, I don't really remember much about this. Just little flashes of memory in my head of shooting it. I can remember, standing it back up. And over at the Plaid Stallion site, they said the gun didn't work and they just had to clap, like the clapper, and make it fall over. But I can't figure that out because it definitely is a light gun that makes it fall over when the light hits the target on the chest. Not really sure about that. And I would love to sit here and tell you some background story about how I did this, and me and my friend did this, and I had this cowboy, we had this contest, who could shoot him first. But no, I don't really have any good stories. It's just like little pages in the back of my head. I can remember in my grandma's room, in her bedroom, this thing sitting on our shag carpet. I guess I was playing with it, which is odd because we didn't really play with toys in her bedroom, but I just have that burning in my head for some reason, you know what I'm saying? Get older, it's hard to remember. But I was just curious, who out there had this toy? Who remembers it? Or you're like, hey, that's kind of cool. I wish I had that as a kid. One thing strange from looking at some of the pictures is it has a lot of gears and stuff inside. Well, I guess that's how it works. I guess it's not really that strange. It was just kind of like, man, I didn't think that much work went into this thing. But I guess it did. I mean, it did have to fall over and have strings for the joints and everything. It was really, really weird. And damn, it looked like Randy Owen. Where are you going, Tire Top? I'm going to go play with my shoot 'em up cowboy light gun action figure. I guess, can you call it an action figure? Well, let me know anything you can in the comment section below. Or you might be like, I've never seen this thing, and it might be just me. They might not have sold many of them. Let me know that in the comments below, and we'll talk again.
Hey, Junkman channel popping though.
Thank you, sir, for that unsolicited testimony.